If you want to build a rig like this with a enclosed case, I'm going to show you step by step. So this is the final product. I'm going to show you how to install all the video cards inside, how to install the motherboard and everything else. Also, if you need more information, I have it in my playlist. So if you want to become a computer technician, and maybe this is the first time that you're going to build a computer like this, I have more material that will help you. So in this case, I have about 10 video cards installed in this system. I have 2 power supplies, as you can see here. Also, I have that monitor, and I'm going to show you everything how it's working with ETHOS. So in case if you want to use that, if you want to mine Ethereum, that will be great. I mean, it's a good software. I'll show you everything how you can set it up. First of all, I'm going to show you, of course, how to build it. Once you have it up and running, I'm going to show you how to set it up. It will be very easy. Another advantage that you're going to have doing or having something like that is that all the heat is going to go where you want it to go. So in case if you put some sprouts here in this side, in the outtake, you're going to put it maybe later on some kind of conduit or something like that, and then you can take it out. Otherwise, if you use the regular frames, the heat is going to go everywhere, the sound is going to go everywhere here. You may have more control on everything. So that will be the main advantage of using a frame between the frame and this kind of enclosure case. So let's start. Hello, my name is Gabriel from GabakUSA. In this video we're going to start building this miner. So in this case we have the ETHOS B250. So in this case we are going to start putting the CPU, the RAM and everything. So we are going to go step by step, so that way you're going to learn how to build a professional miner. In this case, like I was talking before with the other review about the computer case, so that way we are not going to use just a frame, like a regular frame, like I was telling before, just in case if you don't know, with those frames you're going to have all those issues that the heat will go everywhere. So you don't want the heat to go everywhere. So you want the heat to go where you want to go, where you want it to go. So in order to control that, we're going to use a closed case. In this case, we're going to use the case that we have over there. I'm going to show you in a little bit. So I'm going to put a picture over here so that way you can see it. So in this case we're going to start with the gloves. So in case if you don't know it, we're going to use the anti-static gloves that I made another video about that, and we're going to start with the basics. Just in case if you don't know how to build a computer, I recommend you to go and see my other classes about how to become a computer technician, where I teach everything about that topic. So in this case we're going to start with the basics. We're going to put the microchip, and then we're going to put the memory, just the basic stuff, and that way we're going to put it on the motherboard, on the computer case. We're going to change the camera, so that way you're going to see everything that I'm going to start with. So here we have the CPU. So here we have the motherboard, and we're going to take out this plastic that is the protector for the socket, and we're going to put the chip over here, the microprocessor. Just always make sure that all the pins and everything is looking good, that is nothing is bent or anything like that. And then we're going to start using the CPU. In this case, this is what we're going to see. So in case if you want to know how the socket looks like, that's the socket, the one that we are going to use. And you have to make sure that everything is perfect, nothing is bent, and everything should look good. So in this case we're going to use my powerful Victorinox, and this model is the Cyber tool, just in case if you want to buy something like this. I'll try to leave it in the video description. And this model is for computer technicians, so that way you will have all the tips and tools that you're going to need in order to build a computer. So here, as you can see, in this case we don't have a very powerful CPU. We don't need that. Just a basic one will make it. So as you can see, we have the cardboard that we have to get rid of, and then we have the heatsink here, and then we have to take out the CPU, as you can see, and then we're going to remove it. On another good thing about these gloves is that you never are going to put your fingerprints on the CPU, so that is a good thing. That way you don't have to clean it up later. So now we're going to see the form. So as you can see here, in this case we have the notches here. I'll try to zoom in as soon as I put it here. There you go. Now I'm going to show you what I was saying. So as you can see here, we have one notch, and here we have the other notch, and that is what you have to match. Otherwise you're not going to be able to close it and to put everything as it have to be. So now we're going to put this under this, and we have to close the latch, and that's it. So now that is where it's supposed to be. Of course, it doesn't have to have any movement or anything like that. We're going to put the heatsink. That is very important. I don't know why the cable it goes inside. There you go. Okay, now it's outside. And there you go. So now we just put it in on the holes that you see. We should be almost ready to go. So usually what I like to do is try to put the heatsink close to the port, as you can see here, for the power of the fan, and that's it. So now we should be able to press each one of them. As you can see, I'm pressing them and it will close. There you go. So as you can see, everything is in place, so it goes in the middle of those plastic, as you can see here. That's it. So you should be able to grab the heatsink and it should stay steady, so it should not move anywhere. So as you can see, it's very well done. Now that we have everything here, now we are going to bring the computer case and we are going to start building the rig. So in this case, we're going to try to put the boxes in one side, and otherwise we're not going to have enough room here on the table. So let's put this on one side because the motherboard, the computer case is going to take almost all the space, and we'll be back. Okay, as you can see, here we have the case. In case if you didn't see my other video about the unboxing of this, so here is where we're going to put all the fans and everything. And here we're going to have the I/O, so all the panels, the keyboard, mouse, and everything else. And I'm going to show you the other parts here. So the case is not blue, so we can just build this out later on. So as you can see, this is the other side, the power button and everything. So now we're going to put the motherboard here in this place, and then we're going to start building the rig. First of all, we're going to need to remove this from here. That is the basic. So I'm going to put this in one side, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to put this here. You just press, and that's it. So you can see the hole that we had before. Now we have this little panel where we're going to have the keyboard and everything else. So now we have to make sure that all the holes and everything will fit. There you go. As you can see here, we are going to zoom in so that way you're going to see it better. Okay, I'm going to take it out so that way you can see, just in case. Here, as you can see, we have this little base for the motherboard. So here we have them everywhere. So we have to make sure that every hole goes to that little column that you see over here, and that way we're going to make sure that everything will work properly. It's the same thing with any other computer. It doesn't matter if it is a mining computer or mining case like is in this case. So you have to make sure that everything will fit inside of the holes that we have in this side. So I'll show you in a little bit when I put some screws, so that way you will see how everything is going to be. Okay, if you have a screwdriver and it's not magnetized, you can buy one of these. It's very cool. If you want, just ask for it. I'll try to leave it on the video description. The only thing that you have to do is this. Just move it around and it should work. Let's see if it works. Great, wonderful. So now we can try and see which screw goes where. I'll tell you that later, because sometimes you will see that they come with some certain screws that are different for each of these little columns that I just showed you before. Also, you will see this tiny column or base or whatever you want to call it. So if the motherboard doesn't have the holes where these little bases are installed, what you can do is try to remove them or add these little things in the place where you have to have them, and that way is how you will fix this issue. In this case, for this full motherboard, everything fits perfectly. I don't have to do anything extra, but just in case, if you know that you don't have all the holes or something is different, you can grab one of these and you will be okay. Another thing that you can do if you're having some doubts, you can try to screw it, as you can see here, and if it fits, great, because sometimes you will have like all variety of these kind of screws and sometimes they don't work. So now that we know what kind of screw that we have to use, we're going to screw the first one, and we're going to do the same thing with the other ones. Okay, as you can see, now we just put all the screws. I'm going to show you how everything should look like. As you can see, everything should everything should fit inside of those small holes. You should be able to plug everything, the USB and everything. So in this case is pretty good. I'm not very happy with this, so it might be a problem with the case, because the motherboard, at least these ports, they should be a little bit upwards, and I don't know, if you try to put some USB here, it may not fit. But before going forward, let's try to grab a jump drive and let's see if it works. Otherwise, we are going to try to grab the the motherboard and put it a little bit upward, and that way that will fix the issue. It should not be like that. What I was trying to say is everything should fit perfectly. As you can see, now we are plugging in everything and looks pretty good. I mean, for my taste, it should be a little bit upwards. So here it seems like it looks like it's fine. The HDMI as well, here as well. So we're going to see. I mean, for now everything looks fine, but I'm very particular with all these connectors, that how everything is. So we will see. So in this case, that is what I wanted to show you. So we will connect the power supply. We will install the power supply and everything else. And the RAM, we forgot the RAM, so I have here. Okay, the RAM is very easy to install. Yeah, I mean, if this is your first time, of course, it might be a little bit difficult. So I don't know your skill, but like I mentioned before, I recommend you to watch my other videos about how to become a computer technician, where I explain this in more detail. So here basically you have a small notch that you should be able to fit, make it fit with the motherboard, and usually we should pull the connectors on one way, so that way it should lock the RAM later on. So as you can see, it just fit perfectly. So if you are going to do it and you do it wrong, it will not fit. So no big deal in this case. There you go, everything looks fine. So everything is locked here. So we put like 8 gigs of RAM, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we have 8 gigs. The weird thing is with the motherboard, at least here, you will see the motherboard will tell you, well, if you want to install the 19 video cards, you need 32 gigs. I went to the manual that is online on their website, on the ASUS, and they say no, with 4 or 8 that is fine. I talked with the support and they say no, with this amount will be okay. I don't know, so until I don't test it, I will not know that. But sometimes in the first version of the manual they will say one thing and later on they will change their mind, or maybe they will optimize something and they will do, and it will be something different. But just in case, I wanted you to know these kind of things. So as you can see here, we have the panel, so the LED light and everything else, and we have to power it up, as you can see. And here we have the power switch. So in this case, I hope you can see it. It's the power switch is the one that is going to power up the computer, and in the other case is the LED light, so that way we will see that everything is up and running, or at least on the LCD. So we have it over there at that end, so we will have to move it a little bit. Okay, I just connected. So this is very easy. You have one sign here that says, small sign that says LCD, LED light, and it says the positive and the negative, and that's it. And in the other side it will be basically the same thing. So I'll try to do a close-up so that way you can see it. Okay, as you can see here, we have the small letters here with the symbol, so that is what it is and what you have to install. Now the next step will be installing the power supply. So here we are going to install the power supply. Now we are going to connect at least the basic, the motherboard here, and the power A, as we saw before in my other video. So we have, in this case, it's not like a regular motherboard where we have just one ATX connector. We have A, B, and C. So this motherboard is prepared to be used with 3 power supplies, so that is good. So we're going to use one. Maybe later on we're going to install another one, and we will see how everything runs, and if it's needed we're going to install maybe the third one later. Okay, here we have the Supernova 1300, so she too. We have 1300 watts, so it should be at least good enough for now. And we're going to see the power supply, what it comes inside of it. Okay, it comes with a seal. We will have to cut this out. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, we have a small case here. We're not going to need it. Nice power core, so this is very good. If you have like a 15 amp power core, it will be like 14 AWG, if I'm not mistaken. We will see. So it's very thick, I like it. We will see. 2 millimeters. Yes, it's 14 AWG. So I hope you can see it over here, but that is what it says. So very nice cable. So we're going to use it later. We have the cables. We're going to need some of these cables, not all of them. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what kind of cables comes with it. So here we have zip ties. That is amazing. Here we have some adapter, I guess. I don't know. I will see it later. Here we have the screws for the power supply. That is cool. And now we have to remove this. Wow. It's heavy. Usually when you have a heavy power supply, it's good quality. And it comes in this small case. Here, as you can see, we have all the connectors. So this is a modular power supply. I like it. Looks very well done. Plus 80 plus gold, so that is cool. It seems, I mean, I like the texture, even if I cannot touch it right now, but it looks great. And we're going to leave it in one side. I'm going to install it right away. We will see. There is one way to install this kind of power supply, just the fans. It goes here. Otherwise it's not going to fit in the other side. I'm going to show you in a little bit when I install at least 2 screws, so that way if you never have installed one of these before, you will know how it is. Okay, now we are back. So I'm going to show you the power supply, how everything should be screwed in. I hope you can see it well. So here I put one screw, put the other one, here the other one. As you can see here, we have space for another screw. This is the one I left. I didn't tie them up all the way. I'm going to tell you like a small secret in this computer case. So at least with this power supply, I had to use the drill bit to make this hole a little tiny bit bigger. Otherwise this screw was not going to fit. And after that, everything looks great. So the only thing that you have to do is make sure that everything is very well and tight. I mean, in this case, because I like the detail, but otherwise, if you don't care, you can live with 3 screws, it will be okay. You don't have to install this one, but at least in my case, I want to leave everything the best possible way. So as you can see, here we have the 4 screws. everything is fit and very tight, so that is cool. So as you can see here, you may have another holes. So let's, for instance, here, 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 and here. It depends on how you install the power supply. So we will see. In this case, we have the holes for the power supply in the other side. So I hope I'm going to show you here in a little bit. So we will see how everything works, and after this we are going to see if we are going to leave the power supply the way it is, or maybe we can rotate it and maybe it will start taking the heat towards the display. So we will see in a little bit when we turn it on and how the power supply behaves. The reason that I'm saying this is because, as you can see over here, you have the fan, and in some power supply you may see that it is taking the air here and exhausting it in the other place that it will be here in this case. So if it works like that, great. Otherwise we can, move it, turn it around. So we will see how everything works. Just I want to point this out. So here we have our first set of cables. So if you're wondering, well, do I need this? In case if you need a DVD-ROM, Blu-ray, something like that, yeah, you may need these kind of connectors. In this case, we're going to use it for this part, as you can see here. And we are going to connect the other part in the other part of the power supply. So we have here the main cable. So don't worry about how you connect the cables, at least inside of the power supply, because there is just one way. There is no way that you can connect them in the wrong way. So for instance, here, this motherboard, this power supply. So anyway, here it says MP motherboard. So it should go in the power supply this side. So we're going to connect this here in the big connector as we saw before. And in the power supply there is just one way to connect it, so there is no way that you can do it wrongly. So now that we just connected here, we're going to search for the other ones. Here we have our next cable, our next target. So as you can see, CPU. In this case, CPU in the power supply. So you will see in the power supply it has the same letter, so there is no way that you can miss it. So these two connectors. Now we are going to need the SATA cables, as you can see over here. So these cables, if you're wondering, well, what do we need this? Well, one, because surely we are going to connect one of the hard drives. In this case, we have the license for the software, as you can see here. So we are going to have this hard drive connected here. Also, the risers, they need a SATA connector. So I'm going to show you one, so that way you can see it. So as you can see, we have the riser. If you are wondering what is a riser, basically it's extending the video card from here, from the motherboard, to this big place that you see here. So in this case, you connect it like here, like that. There you go, video card here. This one goes to the motherboard, and here we are going to need the SATA connector. So that is what we are going to use. So we are going to leave this hanging for now. We are going to connect it where it says SATA on the power supply. Here we have the VGA, as you can see. So here we are going to need the VGA cable. just in case if you don't know, but at least in this case, this video card that we're going to use is going to need one of these, so in order to power them up. So in this case, we're going to connect it. Here we have another SATA connector, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to show you so that way it will be easier for the camera. So here, as you can see, we have all the connectors here, and we have the labels, so everything. So basically, just grab the cable and connect it in each connector. You have to make sure that everything goes to the end of the connector, and you should be fine. I mean, everything looks like very tight right now. So as you can see, here we have we see the VGA connector. Here we have the peripheral. So we're going to connect one more. There you go. We have a few other more available. For instance, here we have the VGA. We're going to find VGA here. As you can see, it goes over here. I hope you can see it. Like I mentioned before, there is no way to connect it backwards or something like that, so everything should fit just fine. Now we're going to connect one more, just in case. I mean, this is not essential for now, because we don't have the SATA connector, but we can put some kind of adapters here. We can convert it in SATA, so I think it will be useful. And here we have one more for the CPU. In this case, everything is connected, so we don't have to connect any other CPU, and everything should be fine. So now we can put it back where it goes. We will continue. Okay, now we have the riser, right? So what are we going to do with this? So in this case, we have this small compartment here. I'll try to see if you can see it. Well, here we have, in this case, we have two of these mini columns that I said before, so that way it will hold the whole unit like that. So what we are going to do is something very easy, because you have this rubber protection here in this case. So we're going to do something very easy. Just grab this screwdriver with a small drill bit, and you do this in every hole, so that way it will be easy to pass the screw through. And we're going to be almost set here, so we're going to try to find the right screw, and we will see. If in this case we are going to use the small thread, as you can see here, hope you can see it, and we're going to put it through this, and I hope it will fit. And we have to pressure it, because this screw is not long enough, otherwise we will try to search for something else. I'm going to try to remove this bar, so it's on the side of the computer case, so it's very easy to remove. It has just few screws. As you can see here in this side, we have to remove the screws, and maybe you will be able to see in the other side. Nice, we just remove it. And we are going to do the same thing with the other one. One bar less, at least for the video it will work. So now I hope you can see it much better. So we have here all the 4 small columns that I was talking about, and we will see. There you go. We just put those 4 screws. This is nice and tight. So now we can do the same thing in the other side. So here it will be a little bit more complicated because we have here all the cables. We will see how we can manage them all later on. If we need to install one like that, we are going to try to put it here. Otherwise, we will see if that with that one by itself will be okay, and if we have enough space here to make them work. Otherwise, we will use that extra space. So here, at least here, I think we can put many of these units, because here we have a here we have enough space, at least for one video card. So it will be shameful if we cannot install one video card here. So that will be the thing. The only thing that I don't like much is the power supply that I have here in the middle with all these mess cables. So we will see if we can maybe zip them all tight here in the first bar that we have here, and if we can make some extra space, or how everything is going to fit, because the video cards, they're long and it will be a shame. We have plenty space here, at least for one video card. So we will see. Now that we are here, we remove just one bar. We will try to put one of these risers. Let's see how it goes. If it was metal, of course, I will not be drilling on top of the case, but here is because it's just rubber. Nothing will happen, nothing will get damaged, or will not be any short circuit or anything like that. So that will be okay, and that is just for this video. So we're going to put it here, and we are going to leave everything connected. Nice. Now we will try to connect some video card, and let's see how it goes. Okay, as you can see, we have the video card, so we're going to connect it in that end, and let's see how it fits. There you go, just nice and tight. And then we have a small hole here that we have to put some kind of screw, so that way it will not be moving around. Okay, as you can see here, we just installed this riser here. So we have the other video card here, as you can see. So it looks great. Now we are going to work on this unit. So here we have a brand new video card. So as you can see, we're going to take it out from here, then we are going to install it. There you go. So maybe this computer case should be a little bit bigger in order to work properly. So we have to remove this. Almost I forgot. So here there is a small protector for the contact. So we have to move this to the back, just in case if this is your first time installing a video card. Then once it's all the way in, that's it. So the only thing that we have to do later, I'll try to move this around, is to put the screw here, and that's it. So the same way I did with this one, we're going to do it with the other one. And here I have many screws, the screwdriver. There is one thing that I have to test with this computer case, because it doesn't come with any manual, so that is the bad thing. But I was talking with the manufacturer, and he doesn't have any manual either, or at least with the seller. I guess it was the seller, not the manufacturer. But in this case, he sent me like a small crappy video in Chinese, and the way they install this kind of video cards, I'm going to show you. This is the connector that you have to remove, and if you're going to use this for SLI, you have to remove it as well, but this is not the case. It doesn't matter. We have the connectors here. So the weird thing, at least with this computer case, is you have to install it like that. At least to me it will be kind of difficult, because you have to put the screw here, and this piece of metal that you see here, you see all the holes, and it goes just like that. So it should fit here. The thing is, you will not be able to see the plug here, so that will be a bad thing. Other than that, we will see. If otherwise, we can replace these bars that you see here. Maybe we can change them and set them up in another location. So we maybe put this on the top, and the other ones that are in the bottom to the top, and from the top to the bottom, and let's see how it goes. Otherwise, we will see. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to put this back like the way it was, and we will see how it turns out. Let's say that we just put it like that. You have the two holes here, so you have to make them fit. It doesn't fit all the way, so I'll try to pretend that I'm going to plug it in the way it is, so it will not, because this is too long and here we don't have enough space. I don't think so that it's going to work the way it is. I think I have to turn them around, this piece of metal, and put it in other way. Otherwise, it will not work at all. So yeah, I see it a little bit complicated. So I'm going to play with this. I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll see how can I set it up the best way. So I will be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to zoom out. Okay, I don't like this computer case. At least the way is laid out this, because you have to put the video cards, as you can see, backwards. As you can see here, I have the video card on one side. Just if you see, this is the connector. So here is the connector. So I have to put the riser here. It's very uncomfortable to put the connector here, so for the power. So I don't like that. So surely next time I will try to make things different. Maybe I'll try to make some holes on the side and lay out this differently, because otherwise, at least with the holes that the computer case comes, that is how you have to do it. I saw a video from the seller, and that is how he was building one of these machines. So when you have to put the connector, you have to put your hand like that. I mean, yeah, it's not good. So at least here in this case, you can put the connector just right away. It's very easy. You have the connectors here. The only bad thing, I had to remove the video card here because you have tons of cables here. So you have tons, and if you put the video card here like I had before, surely, yeah, surely you can try to organize the cables differently. But if for some reason you are moving the case one place to another one or whatever, it may start touching the fence and it will stop it. So what I will do is I'll try to use it the way it is. This computer case is for 12 GPUs, so we are going to use 11 maximum because this, at least this space here, I'm not going to be able to use it. Otherwise, I will have to modify the case. Maybe instead of putting the video card like that, I could try to put it like that, but you know, it's more work that you have to do. Or otherwise, what I was thinking is just make a whole computer case myself, just design it, you know, do the prototype and everything else. That way I will have something that is more manageable, so at least with the cables and everything. Otherwise, if you have to try to, you know, replace the GPU, the CPU here, or the RAM or something like that, and you have video cards everywhere, you know, you have to start doing weird things, you know, in order to do it just like a simple maintenance. So I think at least for now, this will be the best way. So here I have the riser, as you can see. So the only thing that you have to do once you have the video card the way you see them right now is just move this thing back and then try to connect it, and that's it. I mean, I have connect the power cables in the on the top. In this case, it will be the bottom. So already the only thing I have to do is this one here. Just, I mean, if this is your first computer case, I mean, for mining, yeah, that is what you have to do. So this is the connector, and the only thing that you have to do is just make sure that this locking mechanism is in the other side. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to connect it, and that's it. So once you plug it in, make sure everything is very tight, and you should be ready to go. So here we have to connect the other riser. As you can see, the power cable. We need here the USB, and after that you have to connect each one of them in the motherboard. So I'll see how I will be doing the cable management here. Seems like a little bit crazy, at least for now, and we will see. So the other thing that you have to keep in mind is this. You have to put this somewhere. So if you put it here, I think you can, I mean, in case if you have to ship it somewhere, yeah, it may work. So if you put it like that, but you have the other one. So if you see these small holes, so you have to put this like that. And I try to use it, but you have to move one by one in order to make it fit, and surely if you have a lot of video cards, it will be very difficult. So it seems like I mean, these holes are in the wrong place, and that would be a pain. So surely I will be leaving this out, and I'm going to leave this here. At least with this, it will be, I mean, even with the screw that you have here is strong enough, so these video cards are not going anywhere. So if you want extra security, you know, you can leave this, and it will make it harder. But that is what I seen so far for now. So we will see. So we are going to connect everything, and I will be back in a little bit. Okay, I just plug in all the risers over there, so that is a simple task, just in case if you forgot about the risers. Here we have a new one, so it's this, goes here, one goes here. That is what you are seeing right here, right now. And the other one, you have to plug it in one of these connectors. So as you can see here, you plug it like that, and that's it. So in this case, remember, like we talked before, so try to use the A parts, the 8th zone. You have the B and you have the Z. So in this case, for these video cards, we are going to use that. And then we are going to connect now the power cords that we have here. So at least in the first instance, what we have to try to do is try to make it work, and then later on we can make it nicer. So if we want to start playing with the cables, get a shorter cable, longer one, or whatever, but make sure first of all that everything works. So this is very easy. It's like a hard drive. So basically you just plug it in, and that's it. So you should be set in this, at least in this case. We have almost all the connectors are set. Here we have one that is laying around. We have another one here, and we have to find a SATA cable. Here we found one. The other thing that I was thinking about this case is, I mean, I don't see many cases in the market, so there is not many options. So as you can see, it's kind of difficult to try to connect everything. So when you have these bars, you know, everything everywhere, so this case could be a little bit longer, bigger, and everything should be easier to connect and play. So one thing I was thinking, at least in this motherboard, you have the place, you have the big the 16x PCI slot, and if here we have the space, we could use the same space to use one more video card. So if let's say that we arrange everything beautifully, and we could have 13 video cards, because one will be in the place that we said that we were not going to install anything. We have here, so we should be able to connect at least 13, just at least that will be the maximum amount with this computer case. So now that everything is up and running, I mean, now that everything is connected, I don't know if this is going to be working. We have to connect the hard drive, and we will see. So for those people who don't know, but I bought the license for this as a operating system. So I'll leave everything on the video description. It comes with the SATA cable. We have this, I think it's 16 gigs, so it's like nothing, but you know, you just plug it in and it works. That's it. That is all you have to do. So I'll try to use the original SATA cable. I think it's maybe a little bit better, or looks like. And then we're going to connect it. Here I don't see a place where you can put the hard drive. In case if you don't know, if the Ether or Ethereum operating system. So here we have this connector. We have to connect it somewhere. Surely we will do it like that. We are going to use the angle here, and we are going to use the SATA 1. So this is what I see. There you go, and I'll see how, how long, how far this cable goes. Otherwise, we could leave it just in the wall of this computer case. I'll try to zoom out so that way you can see a little bit better. So I was thinking maybe something like that, something like this. Maybe it may fit. I should make some holes over here so that way it will not be laying around. So now I'm going to connect the, I'll try to see if I use that SATA power. Maybe I should use another one. Another thing is that I will be removing the extra cables that I'm not going to be using. So in this case, for now, we're going to plug it in and see if it works. So we're going to leave, because it's light, the hard drive will not, this SSD will not be damaged. So if I leave it hanging, you have to make sure that all the cables and everything that you have here, it will not be touching the fans, and that's it. So everything should spin properly, like I mentioned before. So now I'm going to try to connect it, see if it works, try to use the SSD, and I'll try to show you the screen so that way you will see how everything is set. And after that, it's just a matter of unplugging the power supply, the connectors that you have here. Try to leave the minimum. If you can run the cables maybe under this board that you have here or whatever you want to see it. Also, you make sure that the power core, the video card, each video card might be different, so you have to see how you are going to manage the cable. So we'll be back in a little bit as soon as I finish playing with this. So here is the cover. So we're going to remove the cover. So in this case, I'm going to show you a little bit more, because I'm still working on this. Maybe I can install one more video card here, another one over there, but I'm going to show you. This is one of the latest video that you're going to see with this miner, with this rig. So what I have done, if you have like a short video cards, so in this case you see this doesn't go all over way here. So what you do is you can put some kind of screw, so in the middle, as you can see over here, and then that way you keep it from falling. So that is one trick. Another trick, if you want to organize the cables, you can go all over here, and then I am using like a power splitter, as you can see over here. And that power splitter, the good thing is it has like a small switch that it allows me to have a low speed or high speed, and that is great. So I have two, because at least this unit, it comes with a few ports. So here I have 9 fans, and here I have less port than that. So that is one disadvantage. But when I finish, I could just glue it here, as you can see, and I could do the same thing in the other side, and that way it will look neat. As you can see, I have all the cables and everything is in this side. As you can see, I put some zip ties in this side, so that way it will look, I will have less cables. I know it's not the perfect setup, because the nature of this beast is that you're going to have a lot of cables, but with the raceless system or raceless rig that I'm going to make another video about that. So if you want to search for that on my playlist, that will help you. You will not have all this mess. So the good thing about this is that you can put like 19 video cards, not with this computer case, because in this computer case there is 12 max, and that's it. So this is the front of the computer case. As you can see here, I have a powers a video card. So in this case you have to use the main one, the one that is connected to the X16 PCI. Otherwise it will show some error, and over there, here, as you can see, I managed to add the other video card. So in this case I was able to do that because this video card is shorter. Otherwise, I mean, if it was going to be long, it was, I mean, going to be impossible like this. I mean, the ideal scenario would be that you have all the same video cards, but at least in my case, is well, at least at the time that I built this rig, it was almost impossible to find the same video card. So I found 6 1070 Ti, and then the rest I have to buy whatever I was able to find. So as you can see on the bottom, I have the SOTAC is short like this, so that is why I could manage it a little bit better. Also, I try to reduce the cables and leave as less as possible, so that way I can arrange everything in a better way. Other than that, that is my small advice for this case. If you have to build a lot, I mean, that will be better, because you can extract the heat. If you want, you can put like a shroud, so that way you can connect the conduit and then remove the heat, and you can do the same thing in the other side. But what you can do, I mean, it depends how you configure the fence. So if you want the heat coming out all the time, that will be one option, or I mean in both sides, that is what I'm trying to say. Or you can push air in one side and take the air out in the other side. So that will be another option. So if you want to have like maybe air condition here, and the other one is just pulling the heat out of your place, that will be great. So I'm going to show you later on how everything is working with this monitor. I know that it's going to be noisy, but that is how it's going to be. At least I'm going to show you the basic, and I'll try to access remotely from another computer, so that way we don't have the noise here. Okay, when it boots up, you will see it that way. This is all the noise. The fans are working. So as you can see, 10 video cards are working. Are working and detected, and in a little bit it should start working. Okay, when it boots up, you will see here the prompt, so that way you can configure anything, and this is how you're going to see it. So as soon as it starts working, you will see the hash rate all over here. Here you have the RAM, you have 8, use 1 gig, free 6.7, so that is great. And the CPU usage is 26%, is not that bad. As you can see, 14, 10, so it will reach until 30 usually. So that's it. We are going to start getting the information from another computer, so that way we don't have this noise. Okay, here we are on my Mac. So in this case, you have to press Command space and then type terminal. And then once you have the terminal, enter, and then you are going to be here. In case if you have Windows, I'll show you on Windows as well. So in this case, I have a virtual computer I'm going to be accessing, and I'll show you step by step how you can do the same thing. So basically I'm going to drag it here so that way you can see. So here we have a party. In case if you don't know it, I'll close it. Let's say close it. There we go. Here you can go to Google, type party, the first one. That is the one you have to get. Once you have it, I'll show you how to access it. So I'm going to move the dock bar and I'll type party. There you go. Here you have it. And then you have to know the IP, of course, of your computer. In this case is 10.0.1.133. If you don't know about that, you can watch my computer classes about networking, or you should have to, or you can hire me and then I'll be glad to help you. So here you click on open, here you type the user and then you type the password, and that's it, done. So if I'll maximize so that way you can see it. So here we have the command line and I'm going to show you everything. So as you can see here, we have the basic commands that you have to know in order to operate this miner. So I'll try to zoom in so that way you will see it. So here we have the remote and the local. So the first thing that you have to do is just edit the remote file. So because it's when you have like maybe more than one unit. So in this case, because we have just one unit, we're going to be working on this one. But this is very important because we have to modify it and add the numeral sign. Otherwise, everything that you do in the other file, it's not going to take any effect. So if you have more information, you can go here as well. But at least I'm going to teach you the basic, so that way you can make it work. Here you have another command. It's called mine stop. So that way you can stop everything. If you want to start it, just type mine start. That's it. So if you want help, you type help me show, and if you want, for instance, put show miner, it will show you the hashing rate and everything else. And you have many other things. For instance, if you want to upgrade all the software and everything. But here we have the basics. So instead of working with this, I'll start working with my Mac. So that way you will see, because most people, at least here in US, they have a Mac. So here what we are going to type is SSH. I'll try to zoom in so that way you can see it better. SSH space and then the user, in this case root, or if you have something else you can use something else, but if you're having it by default, it's like that. So you have to type the IP and then you press enter. So here it will ask you for the password. You type the password and you have the same options as before. So I'm going to show you. First of all, I'm going to try to leave it on this side so that way I can zoom in a little bit more, and that's it. So here what we're going to use in this case is Beam. So if you don't know much about Linux, you could watch my classes about Linux as well, or you can go to Google and you will see many tutorials about that, but that is very basic. Or watch my classes about how to become a computer technician. You will know a little bit more about the different interfaces that you may have with different operating systems. So in this case, we're going to type Beam, and then we're going to type the first one that I mentioned before, the first one that we see here, this one, home slash ETHOS slash remote.conf, and that's it. At least that will be our start. So with that home, you can type a tab and it will try to write the next tab. So here the next folder, and then ether slash, and then we are going to type remote config. So as you can see here, we're going to, I'll try to zoom out a little bit so that way you're going to see the bottom, because that is very important. So once you're there, you have to press I So once you have I, you will see here on the bottom that it says insert. So that means that you are ready to modify things. So I'm going to delete the numeral, so that way you will see this comment. So you have to comment out or remove this top line in order to enable the single rig mode. That is the one we are going to use. So I'm going to add the numeral, so that way you will see. So that way it will work. So in order to save the changes, because once you are working for the first time, this is going to be like that. So you have to disable it or delete everything. Just do that and then press escape. You will see on the bottom just the insert just is gone, it disappeared. Now you press colon and then WQ. That is what you have to see. I'll zoom in so that way you will see it a little bit better. Okay, I hope you can see. Is WQ, enter, that's it. So once you have done that, we are in the same place as before, and we are going the file has been changed, so we are going to modify the other file. Is the local.conf. So we press enter. Here is because it says that the subfile already exists, but in this case, surely for you will not see any of that. So in this case, I'm going to press E to keep working on this. And once you are there, you have to do the same thing as before. You have to press I. I'll press I, so that way, okay, on the bottom you see the insert. And what you have to do is just start working with this. At least this is the very basic. For instance, the max CPU temp, in this case 85. So when it reaches that point, it should stop working. The Stratum proxy enable proxy wallet. So here you put your wallet, whatever it is, and here you're going to put whatever pool that you want to use. In this case, I'm using F2 pool, so it works great. I have another video that talks about that. As always, if you want, you can buy my classes. I have few extra classes that you're going to see that are for VIP customers. And here you will see the other one. So if you want to add something else, you can add something else. Or if you go to F2 pool, you will see the instructions. So just make sure that you have some redundancy in this case. The next, it will be the global fund. This is for the fans, of course. Leave it just the way it is. 90, that is fine. Here, this is the name of the miner that you're going to see in the pool. And here, at least with this video card that I have, is the 1070. Maybe in the future you're going to see the 2020 or whatever else from NVIDIA. So you have to verify, or if you have any question, try to leave it a comment on the section below. It may change over time, but at least with this, you can try this configuration and see how far it goes. Because I mean, when you can overclock the GPUs, the hash rate will increase and it will provide you more money. So that is a good thing. So at least here with the mem, I have a 400, and that is how I have it. So you could use it. I mean, I have 10 GPUs as you saw before, but in this case, when I use the global profile, I mean, to work on all those GPUs, it doesn't work. So that is why I have it like individually for each one of them. So if you see here, the global core, global mem, global fan, for some reason, when I set them up like that, is not working. So at least with the version that I have, maybe it's a bug. Surely in the future they may fix it. And the thing that you have to do here is you have to put the name, like I mentioned before. You have here for each CPU that you have, you set the overclocking. I mean the speed that you want, how much you want to overclock each one of them. And basically with that and the RAM, you will be set. And if you want to play with the power, you can do it as well and see how it goes. And other than that, you should be almost ready. I mean, you should be ready to go. So I don't have any other that I know, that I remember, at least at this point, another configuration. But if you have all that, you should be almost ready to go. So I'll see if I can show you something else. If you want to put a name on the miner, you can do it as well here. Basically, that's it. So once you have everything up and running, you just type WQ, enter. In this case, I'm not going to save any. In this case, yes, WQ, enter. That's it. So if you want to see how much or how is mining, so you can type show miner, enter, and that's it. So you're going to see it working. As you can see, I have mostly one. I have one is 27, but mostly I have 30, 31. So it's working pretty well, and it's pretty stable for now. So I have this unit working for at least a month, and it has been working properly. Sometimes you have to reboot it, but like I mentioned before, maybe there is some bug, maybe you have to upgrade the operating system and other things. So I hope this video was useful. So if you have been successful in your mining rig, please let me know in the section below, and if you have any other question, do it as well, and see you next time. Remember, if you subscribe, click on the little bell, so that way each time I upload a video on YouTube will notify you. Thank you for everything, and see you next time. Bye.